Living in community is one of the main goals of the Gotham program because community is vital to and the result of gospel transformation. God created us to live in community and says that the world will know that we are Jesus' disciples by the way that we love each other. You see that in John 13:35. We had the privilege of reading Jonathan Edwards, one of my favorite theologians. He lived from 1703 to 58. Edwards said that a lack of love causes a broken community. Love defines true community. We're not just narrowly confined to ourselves. We desire the best for our neighbor. A true community has all the members desiring the best for each other. Therefore, we're committed to death to sin, idols, self. That's got to happen if we want gospel community. And we're meant for this community because we're created in the image of God. Now, Jonathan Edwards was a Trinitarian theologian. The Trinity was, we might say, the architectonic principle of his theological and pastoral program. And so because we're created in the image of the triune God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, having lived from all eternity in community, we're designed for that. We're created to crave community. We are welcome to want community. We are designed to desire community because we're created in the image of God who has forever existed in community. Dietrich Bonhoeffer lived from 1906 to 45. Many of you know the tragic story of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, really the heroic story of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. His whole life was given over to inculcating and nurturing Christian community. He saw the brokenness of a war-torn Germany and frankly Europe, was very concerned about that. And he talks about our community being the outgrowth of our union with Christ and that we must be more committed to community than we even are our ideal of community. Sometimes we create an ideal of community that's sort of an idol that is truncated from the messiness and the struggle of real community. And of course, his works like The Cost of Discipleship or Life Together bring us into the reality of what true Christian community looks like. And you enjoyed reading that. David Powlison passed away a year ago. He was for the longest time the director of CCEF, Christian Counseling and Education Foundation. And he talks about the conditional love of Christ. Sometimes people talk about God's unconditional love, but the reality is it was not unconditional. It was conditioned upon a great many things, which is why we studied the nature of the atonement with John Murray and so forth in our reading there in Redemption Accomplished and Applied. But Powlison talks to us about our call to live in community, knowing that the love of God, which we are to emulate and extend to one another and live in, came at great cost, the cost of the sacrifice of God's Son, and it's going to be costly and sacrificial on our part as well. Listen, there's a lot more I could say. I just want you to know how much I loved getting to walk some miles together with you. I wish we could be together right now. We will be again soon, but really my privilege to journey with y'all these last 9 months. Much love to y'all, and if I can ever be of service to you, don't hesitate to reach out, text, call, email, send us smoke signals, whatever, and we'll be together again soon. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, David. That was really good and a good reminder, good look back. Some of the ways you practice living into community were through the exercises of understanding your spirituality, that will that was in the first retreat, the Redemptive Feedback Project, your prayer partners, and the devotionals. All of these exercises and readings were geared toward enabling you to receive and be filled with God's love, to relate to others through Christ's mediation, and to communicate truth in love, and to give and receive redemptive feedback. Finally, to learn to love your coworkers and that sandpaper person.